Hello students, Jai Hind, very good morning. Welcome to our e-learning program. As you all know very well, you are already given due to COVID-19 epidemic, you are already given mass promotion and you came to the upper standard, that is in 8th standard. It must have happened that when you were in 7th standard, some of the topics, because it happened during the whole year, that you must have attended online lectures. And in all lectures, it may happen sometime that as we know the difference between online and offline, it must have happened that many topics must have remained unclear in your mind. Again, still just now the situation is again like the last year, when the government will give permission to carry out offline school classes that we are not sure about yet. So again in 8th standard, you have to attend all lectures of all subjects online. You have to do your homework and submit online. That will be checked and resent to you. You have to give all tests also online. So dear student, before we start our session today, let me first introduce myself. Myself, Bharat Pancholi, Bharat sir, and I am going to take your math subject. While I am going to take your math subject, I want and I have some demand from you student. Even though you are attending online, you have to be very honest with yourself, understanding the situation in which we all are entrapped this year. We are in a situation where we can't call you at the school. You have to attend the recorded lectures. My personal suggestion is that before we start our regular lecture, some of the important points which I want to discuss with you. The first one, very important. I have seen last year, even when we have demanded the photos, that how every student are attending the lectures, we have seen one thing. Many students were attending lecture without any fixed sitting place. Sometimes they were sitting on chair and table, sometimes they were attending the lecture on bed. This is not proper. You have to first, parents should also understand this. When your child is attending this first lecture, I have already sent a message to the parents also that in first lecture with child, parents also need to attend it. Some of the important points and some of the important demands, and may you consider it a suggestion from faculty, the very important and first point. Every student should at home decide a particular sitting place where every day, like you are coming in your classroom every day, suppose in offline, Then are you sitting at different places every day? No. You have your fixed seat as per your roll number and you are sitting every day there and attending the lecture, and you develop one type of affection for that sitting arrangement where you would like to sit every day and attend the lecture. Okay, so dear student, consider yourself, even you are attending the lecture at home, but consider yourself that you are attending your lecture in offline classes, and for that purpose, first demand, you need to have a particular sitting place. Most preferably, I demand that you should sit, even you are attending lecture in laptop or mobile, you should sit and you should utilize a proper comfortable sitting place with chair and table where you should sit properly and attend the lecture. This is my first demand from each and every student. That is, needs to be a precise, particular sitting place. The second very important demand, dear student, like you are attending offline classes where you are not moving from your place until you are asked by the faculty, and you are attending the whole lecture with full concentration and attention. That is what I want even in maths lectures. In all subject lecture, understand, but specifically speaking maths lecture, you should attend, dear student. Throughout the lecture, please never stand up. Attend the lecture properly. This is the second suggestion from me. Attend lecture properly with full concentration. Verify each and every word spoken by the faculties so that you will be able to understand and clear your concept very clearly. That is my second demand. And parents, please see to that your child, when sit for attending lecture, he needs to sit at stretch and he should not move from his place. This is my second demand, like you are attending your lecture in classroom, dear student. My third demand, every day when you are attending any lectures, you must be preparing the books for that. Suppose for mathematics, you will definitely prepare a separate book where you will attend the lecture, and during the lecture when you are attending, you should have your notebook open with your pen. Even during my lecture, you will come to know, dear student, that I am never in haste to complete any topic. When I speak anything or when I write anything on the board, I will give you sufficient time to note down and understand those important words and topics. Okay? So what you should do is that, this is my third suggestion, that when you sit, you keep your book open with you. When sir is speaking anything or when faculty is writing anything on the board, you should properly note down that in your book so that you do not need to attend the same lecture again, but from those important notes and points which you must have noted down in your book, that will be quite useful to you. So this is my third suggestion, dear student. When you attend the lecture, keep your notebook open, mention and note down important formulas and points spoken by the faculty. Whenever any example is solved here on the board, you should note down. I will give sufficient time to note down that example and write in your book precisely and accurately. So that's my third demand, dear student. First, a proper sitting place each and every day. Second, when you attend the lecture, understand, never stand up during the lecture. And parents also, please take care that your child doesn't get disturbed during the lecture. That place needs to be finalized in home, where child can sit without any multiple disturbance during the lecture. The third point, dear student, you should keep the book open, and that one book which you make for maths, that book you need to maintain. Every time when you attend lecture, note down important points in that book, write down all sum done here on the board. Okay, that way you should attend your lecture. Third and fourth important suggestion, dear student, during lectures, at the end of the lecture, I will write the homework here on the board. So every student, please be conscious. I will write homework here on the board, and that homework you should note down in your book immediately, so that you do not have to query either me or associate for your everyday homework. So that is what you need to be sure about, dear student. Sometime, even when I write homework on the board, sometime it may happen that I will not write the full length questions for you, but I will write exercise number, question number, and sub question number on the board, which you should note down. That way you will be sent your homework. Okay, so that also you should be very conscious about. At the end of the lecture, in last 5 minutes, in every lecture you will be given the homework by me on the board. So you should note down that homework properly. Fourth suggestion. Fifth, dear student, after you attend your lecture, you should send your homework timely to associate. Never send homework done by any other student and forward it. Never involve yourself in such malpractices. Honestly, accurately, you do your homework. It may happen, dear, that maths is such a subject that you may have many doubts, may be during the lecture. And that's why my sixth suggestion is that when you are noting down any point during the lecture, be very sure that if you have any doubt, as you will be sent a precise timing by me, in that time you can ring me personally and can solve your doubts. So that way your doubt will be solved even you are attending the online lectures. Okay, dear students, so this 6 suggestion every parents and every student has to be very conscious and alert about. Proper sitting place, dear student, no disturbance, never stand up during the lecture, keep your book open and note down important points. At the end of the lecture, homework will be delivered to you. That homework will be written on the board, so please note down. Sometime you may be sent homework in PDF, then there will be no question at all. Complete your homework honestly and precisely and send to associate immediately in time. Okay? And as I told you, maths is such a subject where student has doubts. It is going to happen. So in that precise time which will be sent to you, you can give your homework. Okay, dear student? So these are 6 golden suggestions from me. every parents and every student need to be very conscious regarding all these suggestions. Okay, dear student. Now, another important points. Many students may not have maths textbook. Maybe so if you have purchased from old student, that's okay. But I am expecting that all the student may not have access to Prachi maths textbook. So what is going to happen, dear student? As you all know, before you are attending today's lecture, you are already sent PDF of chapter number 5, algebraic expression. I have already sent you PDF. So that PDF, if you get the PDF and if you do not have textbook, get its hard copy, or even you can look from that and write the question, that's okay. So you do not need to worry about either you have textbook or not. Every time you will attend a lecture of new chapter, you will be sent PDF. Reading that PDF, you will come to know. I have, dear student, now let us, after discussing some of these important points, let us concentrate on your maths textbook. I have already sent you index PDF already. Now let us try to sum up first that how many chapters you have to attend during this year in 8th standard, which chapter are dealing with arithmetic, which chapter are dealing with algebra, and which chapter are dealing with geometry. See, dear student, some of the chapter which you can verify from index. Okay, see the chapter number 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, they are chapters of algebra. Algebraic maths to be more precise. Chapter number 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then, dear student, few chapters which you can say, chapter number 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, they are chapters of geometry. Then chapter number 1, that is rational number. Then chapter number 6, that's ratio and proportion. Then you have chapter number 10, mensuration. Chapter number 11, data handling. We can consider it in arithmetic, but actually it is a chapter of statistic. And then introduction to graph. You can consider it a chapter of arithmetic. So that way, if we sum up, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 chapter in algebra, then 7, 8, 9, 3 chapters in geometry, and rest of the chapters in arithmetic. My personal suggestion is, dear student, as we are going to start today, your chapter number 5, that is algebraic expression. This particular chapter, algebraic expression, before I start, some of the very important points which we want to discuss is that why we are starting this chapter, skipping chapter number 1, 2, 3 and 4. So some of the important point, dear student, this chapter of algebraic expression carries much importance for you even in future standard, that is in standard 9 and 10. That's why we are starting this chapter at first. Okay, algebraic expression, chapter number 5. Okay, today you are attending lecture number 1 for this particular chapter. And what is the title of the chapter? Algebraic expression. That's the title of the chapter, algebraic expression. Today you are attending the first lecture of this particular chapter, algebraic expression. First you need to understand the meaning of this. Actually, the title of the chapter doesn't give the complete idea about this particular chapter, but dear student, in this particular chapter, the topic which we are going to target, that is the chapter, that is the topic polynomial, that is our target. In this particular chapter, we are going to target this particular topic, polynomials. So, dear student, first, before we get some idea about polynomial, we will discuss some of the important terms regarding polynomial. And remember one thing, as I told you to note down important points during the lecture, before we understand polynomial, you need to understand this particular word, dear student, which we may call term. This word you need to understand first. Because ultimately, when I explain, polynomial is ultimately a group of terms arranged, separated by plus minus sign, that is polynomial. Understand? Now first we need to understand this particular word, what is term. This you need to understand first. What is a term? Okay? You must have understood in primary also, like terms, unlike terms, you must have understood. We are just taking a bit revision of that. What do you mean by a term? The term consists of what? Suppose I write one term here and try to explain you. Suppose I have written here 4x. Is it a term? Definitely. This is a real number and this is called variable. One term is an assembly of one number and one variable. There can be more than one variable also, that we will discuss in the next half of this lecture, but this is a term. Understand? Here this is called variable. Okay, this is called variable and this is called real constant, or you can say real number also. Okay, so you understood one thing, dear student, a term is an assembly of what? A number and a variable. Variable can have any power. Okay, suppose I write 3 x square. Is it a term? Definitely. Where 3 is a number and x is a variable where the power of x is square. Understand? So this is also a term. Suppose I write this way. Suppose 5x cube. Is it a term? Definitely it is also called term. Again it is just conveying you the topic that term is an assembly of one real constant and variable with any power. Understand? Suppose I write this way. Let me write one another term. Suppose I write minus 11 x square y square. Is it a term? Definitely. Where minus 11 is the constant x and y are variable in this term with power 2, 2. Suppose I write another term, dear student, suppose 7 x cube y z square. Is it a term? Why not? Because here 7 is real constant and x, y and z are variable, x with power 3, y with power 1 because no power, z with power 2. This is also called a term. So a term is a group of assembly. It is an assembly of one real constant and it may contain more than one variable also. This is called a term. You have understood regarding the term even in 7th standard, I expect. Okay. So these are terms. Okay. Can I write this way also, dear students? Suppose I write minus 1 upon 2 mn cube p square. Is it a term? Why not? This is a real constant. This m and p can be considered variable with various powers. So this is also called a term. Understood, dear student? Now you must have got idea about, before we jump to the concept of polynomial, like terms and unlike terms you must be knowing. Even though in your textbook there is no much discussion about like term and unlike term, but I may ask in WRT some of the important MCQs from here. Suppose, dear student, suppose this is a term as you all know. Now here x square and y square are variable and this is constant. So dear student, one important point which I want to mention here is that if you concentrate in this particular term, this particular number is called coefficient of term. Please remember this. Coefficient. Can you mention the coefficient of this term? 3. 3 is the coefficient. Here in this term 5 is the coefficient. Here 7 is the coefficient. Here minus 1 upon 2 is the coefficient. Okay. One more important thing, dear student. Like term and unlike term. Okay. What do you mean by like term and what do you mean by unlike term? Just make your concept a bit clear about like terms and unlike terms. I will not indulge myself in giving you definition. I will just explain you by example. Suppose I write two term here, 2x square y, and I write another term here, 5x square y. I have written two terms here, 2x square y I have written and I have written 5x square y. Can you consider them like term? Why not? In both the term, dear student, number can be different, coefficient, but you see the variable and their power. You must have understood in previous standard that two terms having similar variable and similar power of the variable are called like term. Okay, you must have understood. So this can be called like terms. Okay, dear student. Suppose I mention two term in this way, minus 11 x square y, and I mention one another 13 xy. Can you guess? Understand? Can you guess that are they like term? Not at all. Never. They are not called a like term because even though they have common variable, but the variable do not have equal power. Both the variable needs to have equal power. You should not think of only one variable when you equalize both the term as like term or unlike term. You have to be very sure, understand that all variables should be common. all variable must have similar power, that they are called like term. This too can be considered unlike term. The reason is x square, here x, y. Though power of y are similar, but the power of x are not similar. So that is called like term and unlike term. Okay, dear student. So this is a little explanation about coefficient and some explanation about like term and unlike term, which you need to understand precisely. Okay, dear student. Suppose now let us jump in our concept of polynomial. Before I go in concept of polynomial, is it clear in your mind? Term is an assembly of one number and variables with various power. Term may have one variable, two variable, three variable also. Okay. So term regarding like term and unlike term, that is also you are sure. Now we are jumping into the concept of polynomials. Okay, dear student. Polynomial. After you have understood much clearly about the term, now it becomes easy for you to understand the concept of polynomial. Okay, dear student. Now it's not difficult for you to understand polynomial. Okay. Suppose, dear student, when we are discussing the second topic, what is a polynomial? See, dear student, throughout the year, keep one thing very clear in your mind. Maths is a subject of preparing the topic by understanding. Never mug up the definition in maths. Understand? Because it may happen that you mug up the definition, but your real concept is not clear. That's why every time I am never indulging myself during the explanation in giving definition. Rather, I will concentrate more that you understand the concept. Suppose, dear student, uh, if somebody asks you polynomial means what? Nothing. Simply understanding polynomial means group of terms that we can consider polynomial. It can be one term, it can be two term, it can be three term, it can be more than three terms. Okay. To be more precise and simplifying the concept, polynomials means the group of terms only separated by either plus or minus sign. Okay, dear student. Suppose I write one here. Take an example. I write 4x square. Can I consider a polynomial? Yes. You will immediately doubt in your mind that sir has just now told that polynomial is a group of term, but it is just a one term. So why not? Just a polynomial containing one term only can be called a monomial. Monomial, mono means one. So polynomial consisting of only one term can be called a monomial. Okay, dear student. Suppose I write another. Suppose I write 2x square minus 11x. Can you see? How many terms are there in this polynomial? 1 and 2. Two terms. See, group of terms separated by minus sign. There can be plus sign also. Because this polynomial consists of two terms, it can be called a binomial. Okay. Binomial. Binomial means polynomial consisting of two terms, which you can call binomial. Is it clear in your mind? Monomial consisting of only one term binomial consisting of two terms. These are the concepts which dear student, when the explanation is given to you, you please note it down. Binomial consisting of two terms. Monomial consisting of one term. Suppose I write this way. Take an example, dear student. Suppose 3x square plus 7x plus 2. Are you able to see how many terms here? Term 1, term 2, term 3. Because you are able to observe three terms here, you can call it trinomial, okay? Trinomial. One term monomial, two term binomial. Bi means two, as you know. Tri means three, as you know. Polynomial consisting of three terms can be called trinomial. One term, that is monomial, two terms, that is binomial, three terms, that is trinomial. Okay, dear student, right? Now, as I told you, particularly what we are going to learn in this chapter, how to multiply and divide monomial and monomial, how to multiply and divide monomial and binomial, how to multiply and divide binomial, trinomial and monomial, means you are going to learn in this particular chapter multiplication, division of monomial, binomial and trinomial. But before, dear student, before we move into the concept of multiplication, division of polynomial, to be speaking as a large, some of the important points which you need to understand, though it's not a part of your book, but it is going to happen that I may ask in one line. Suppose, dear student, I write one polynomial here. Suppose I have written one polynomial here. I may ask in one line. You all know that the polynomial written by me here is already a binomial. Okay? But suppose I ask you one question. This is trinomial containing three terms. But suppose I ask this question. What is the degree of the polynomial? Be very precise. This polynomial contains two terms in which there is variable. Here the variable has power 2. Here the variable has power 1. Maximum power of the variable can be called the degree of the polynomial. So what is the degree of this polynomial? 2. Suppose I write another polynomial here. Suppose, dear student, minus 3x cube plus 11x square plus 18x minus 40. Can you count the number of terms? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because here are 4 terms, I have already taught one term means monomial, 2 terms means binomial, 3 terms means trinomial, then polynomial may containing 4 term, 5 terms, 6 terms, 7 term, all are considered as polynomial. You understood this? Now here, if suppose in MCQ I give such question and I ask you, can you mention the degree of this polynomial? So see, dear student, just now I mentioned maximum power of the variable can be considered a degree. Here 3 terms are containing the variable. Here x cube, x square, x. Where is the maximum power of the variable x3? So I can say that degree of this polynomial is 3. Okay? So may it is not a concept to be taught to you in your regular chapter, but I may ask such thing in MCQ because this is going to be very useful to you in 9th standard. Okay? So degree of the polynomial is clear. One another question I may ask, suppose this is, what is the degree of the polynomial here too? Suppose I ask you one question, Okay, for this polynomial which is leading coefficient, so consider this from, please note down, be precise and accurate, that term from which you decide the degree of the polynomial, so that coefficient is called leading coefficient. So can you say which is the leading coefficient of this polynomial? 2. Which is the leading coefficient of this polynomial? Minus 3. That's the leading coefficient. Here 2 is the leading coefficient. So this some of the concept, dear student, you need to keep it in your mind. Okay. So before we sum up, okay, today's lecture, let's have a quick look at what you have learned. I have already given you today idea about the term, okay, before I write the homework for you. Then I have given you idea about monomial, binomial, trinomial. Rest of the polynomial can be called all polynomials. Then I have given you idea about the degree of the polynomial, and I have also given you idea about leading coefficient. Okay. Now some of the homework for you, dear student, considering these topics. Okay. So please note down this homework. I am writing the homework here and you should note down precisely in your book. Okay. The first one, that is, dear student, what is your homework? Okay. I am going to mention some of the polynomial here. You have to guess whether it is, this is your first homework. Okay. State the, please note down, types of polynomial. Okay. Types of polynomial. First one, 5x square minus 11x plus 3, 7x plus 9, third, 3x square y cube. You have to mention the type of the polynomial here, then state like and unlike terms. Okay, dear student, you have to mention which are like term and which are unlike terms. Okay. I am mentioning 5 here. Suppose I write 2x 5x square. Okay. 10xy 11xy minus 3 m square n cube, 7 m square n cube, okay, 11 z, 9 z cube y square, okay, then 3 upon 2 x square y cube and 10x square y cube. You have to guess which are like term and which are unlike terms. Okay. Write the homework quickly. You have to mention the type of polynomials. Either it is monomial, binomial or trinomial, and you also have to mention, understand which are like term and which are unlike term. And third homework, dear, I am writing here, that is, write degree of polynomials. Okay. I am writing 3 polynomial here. You have to write its degree. 2x plus 11, 9x square minus 11x plus 7, 3x cube plus x square minus 7x plus 5. Okay. Please note down your homework. This is your homework for today. In first one, You have to state the type of polynomial, that's your first homework. Okay. Then in second, you have to mention the either the given group of terms are like term or unlike term, and then you have to write the degree of the polynomial which are mentioned here. This is your homework for today's lecture, a very short homework. Okay. I am giving you 2 to 3 minutes to note down your homework. Okay. You need to note down your homework properly. Understand, homework is clearly visualized on the board. You note down your homework in your book. Okay. And while you do your homework, you need to make your concept very clear when you complete your homework. Understand? Today we have given in lecture idea about type of polynomial, like unlike terms, and degree of the polynomial, and I have also given idea about leading coefficient, which is a upgraded concept for the upper standard 9 and 10. Okay. Right? You must have noted down the homework. Okay, dear student. So, before we end today's lecture, be very sure whatever suggestion I have given to you at the start of the lecture, you need to follow them precisely. Understand the concept in maths. Whatever topic you are taught on the board, you need to concentrate on this. Understand? And you should attend even online lecture like you are attending offline lecture in school. Okay? Note down important points. Wherever you feel doubt, you can ring. And index and PDF is already ready in front of you. So you need to verify it from there. In next lecture, I will directly give homework from chapter PDF, where I will mention the exercise number and question number. Okay. So dear student, we expect you are attending the lecture sincerely. Okay, this is subject maths where you need to concentrate thoroughly. Okay, dear student, thank you very much.